Good morning. Samastangu namaskar. Esteemed members on the dais, the chief guest of the inaugural ceremony, Ambassador Lalit Mansingh, the former Foreign Secretary Ambassador to USA and High Commissioner to UK, and founding chairman of Kalinga International Foundation. Esteemed guest of honor, Sri Sanjeev Kumar Mishra, IAS, Honorable Principal Secretary, OLL and C Department, Government of Odisha. Esteemed Professor Patita Baban Mishra, former Professor, Northern University of Malaysia and Chairman, One Asia Foundation, and Professor Upendra Padhi, the Chairman of this third ICI CH 2025 and Director IMS Utkal University. And in my front, all distinguished guests, invitees, participants, speakers who have come from within Odisha, outside Odisha, within India and outside India. A hearty welcome to all of you from my own behalf. And this is my privilege to stand before you as the president of this inaugural ceremony, although I relinquished the post of Vice Chancellor Utkal University yesterday evening. Thank you, Upendra Babu. When I was teaching anthropology, I was teaching on Southeast Asian Studies. It was one of the special papers of the postgraduate courses in anthropology, Utkal University. I taught and I was teaching to our students only from the secondary sources. The students, they couldn't get a chance to visit the Southeast Asian countries to study. But all of you know that there is a trading relationship between India and Southeast Asian countries. And there are also a religious link. Hindu religion is there in Southeast Asian countries. And as Professor Upendra said, that we had the trading relationship. We know the story of Sadhavapua, we know the story of Akamagua, and we know the story of that Kartika Purnami, this is the Odia culture. So this maritime tradition of Odisha, which is in the eastern coast of India, is one of the most fascinating and historically significant aspects of cultural heritage. And Odisha's long coastline, spanning approximately 574.7 kilometers, along with Bay of Bengal, has been a crucial center for trade, for cultural exchange and exploration, no doubt in it. So this tradition, which dates back over 2 millennia, reflects a rich legacy of seafaring, commerce, and also cultural diffusion. So there is a link between North and South India. Kalinga, we know the Odisha, had long experience of commercial, cultural and military expansion. So with a long maritime tradition, people of this region has gone to Southeast Asia and left an imprint in its society and culture, including religion. So its cultural influence played a dominant role until the end of 15th century. It became prosperous in the past through maritime activities and making sea voyages to distant lands. The merchants established the commercial relations. So consequently, there was fusion of Odishan culture in these regions. Archaeological findings, inscriptions, architectural designs, religious beliefs, customs and places underline the role played by the Odishan people to Southeast Asian history. So on the indigenous cultural soft structure, it was raised a superstructure, the element of which were contributed by various zones of India, including Odisha. So maritime history of Kalinga, if we discuss, it offers a profound legacy of heritage and also connectivity that it is particularly instructive for Southeast Asia. Starting from ancient time, people of Kalinga established extensive maritime network, forging the links with regions across Southeast Asia, including present-day Indonesia, Malaysia, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. So this rich history of cultural, economic and also technological exchanges provide critical lessons for strengthening the contemporary regional ties and fostering sustainable development in Southeast Asia. And the strategic location of Kalinga, along with the eastern coastline of India and its access to the Bay of Bengal, all enabled it to emerge as a maritime power. And as early as from 3rd century BCE, Kalingal sailors navigated the monsoon winds to establish trade routes and cultural connections. And these interactions really facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, art, religious philosophies, particularly Hinduism and Buddhism, which profoundly influenced the Southeast Asia's cultural and spiritual landscape. So during these 2 days deliberations, there will be definitely discussions on, experts are sitting in front of me. The maritime routes which was established by Kalinga were not merely the center of commerce, but also for the culture of exchanges and the spread of Indian culture, epics such as Ramayana, Mahabharata, the dissemination of Sanskrit and the influence of Indian temple architecture in Southeast Asia, all are having impact on these interactions, the kingdoms, and also the kingdoms in Sumatra, in Cambodia, all, and Java, Sumatra, all are influenced by the cultural exchanges. So we can see one of the vital lessons from Kalingan maritime heritage is the emphasis on shared histories and cultural integration. The people of Kalinga did not impose their culture, rather enriched the local traditions through interactions and mutual respect. And this approach fostered a syncretic blend of traditions which created a harmonious society that is Southeast Asia today, which can draw from the lessons by emphasizing the shared cultural heritage among the nations of the region. We know there are very similarities of the observation of the festivals, rituals, similarities which are very much similar with Indian traditions, which can reflect the deep-rooted connections through maritime network So now it's time to do research on for the promotion of the shared histories through cultural festivals, education, tourism, which can enhance the regional identity and unity. So, the sustainability of Kalinga's maritime heritage offers valuable lessons for managing contemporary environmental challenges. And people, they developed the harmonious relationship with nature as evidenced by their deep understanding of the monsoon cycle and their reliance on renewable resources for shipbuilding. And these resources, through these resources, the Southeast Asia can face the significant environmental challenges today. So by drawing inspirations from these sustainable practices of Kalinga, the region can develop strategies to balance the economic growth and environmental conservation. So there are many initiatives taken by the government to promote the sustainable fisheries, to adopt renewable energy sources for maritime industry, and to implement the regulations on maritime pollution, which can ensure the long-term viability of Southeast Asia's maritime economy. So, maritime heritage of Odisha, which is the main topic of this third international conference, that is on Kalinga and Southeast Asia, the civilization and connect, we can get many data. And maritime heritage of Odisha offers a timeless lesson in connectivity, including the cultural exchange and sustainability. So for Southeast Asia, this legacy serves as a platform for fostering regional integration, addressing environmental challenges, enhancing global influence. So by drawing from the rich history of Odisha, maritime network, Southeast Asia can build a future rooted in the shared heritage, mutual respect, and also collective progress. And the experience and lessons from the past are not merely historical artifacts, but it can be used as a vibrant blueprint for navigating the complexities of the modern world. So during these 2 days deliberations, under 4 sessions, many papers and many plenary sessions are being organized. So I hope we'll get definitely a valuable output at the end of tomorrow. And I wish all the best for a successful deliberation, discussion and outcome of this third international conference. And I wish all the best. Thank you for inviting me. Jai Jagannath.